nalipa tax na hata siwezi afford kupanda taxi. Kwa banki sina kakitu, siwezi afford hata shati. Maji nanywa ya kanjo yako ya chupa za mapambo. Nalipia mtoto wako elimu ya bure ya juu. Unanipa ya bure lakini ya utu. Oh no. So nitapata wapi majibu ya maswali? Mahindi lienda wapi? Pia shilingi ya shule za msingi. Paulo mtume, mbona jela usimtume? Lazima abuniwe tume. Lazima abuniwe tume. Mapenzi ndizo hali mabasa tulificha kwa kabati. Kazi kwa vijana, pesa kwa wazee. Tulimangamanga mpaka za maded aise. Lazima abuniwe tume. Lazima abuniwe tume. Oh. Sheria. Oh. Sheria. Sheria. Fuata. Sheria. Sheria. Oh, oh. Sheria. Yeah, yeah. Fuata. Sheria. 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 Oh, oh. Fuata. Sheria. Sheria. Pia wewe mwananchi, tabia zako ziko chini. Unapenda kulipa hongo na kutumia njia za uongo. Una mipango na hata watoto wa kando. Haujui hata majina yao. Kura yako uliuza maini figo, ukakulia hadi dini. Kisha wasema tukuthamini, na wewe hapo hauaminiki. Na wewe hapo haupangiki.
Wapi kidero when you need to slap somebody? Complain ufisadi kwani ulidhani t-shirt 50 bob leso siku ya campaign ilikuwa free? Ni 5 year loan investment, utalipa king ya parliament. We are one, amani we are one. Na utumishi kwa wote, utu missing CCTV we were watching. Racial insecurity na job opportunity ni kama mti ya kibiriti. Side moja heavy, usiniambie Kenya kuna umaskini, kwani hizi fat fingers zinaibia nane? Maskando ina threaten our survival. Media define leadership, na sura ukiaka front page na improve readership. Ambia wase wa Twitter wa hashtag hii ama hash reality doesn't make a good TT. Commission of inquiry wanakula commission bila kutupa ukweli. Ni kubaya baka kukiwa kuzuri, unashindwa nini mbaya? Machozi ya perpetrator ineza dilute damu ya victim ilimwagika. After all is said and done, all will be said, nothing will be done. You're not my tribe, but you're my blood type. Lakini doesn't have to take tragedy to know that.
Sheria.
Yes, it's Monday. This is the 5th of May, 2025, which means you only have 3 more Mondays to go before the month is over, if you're looking at it that way. But of course, if you're those people who don't like Mondays, you better like it, because Monday is the day we have Sheria Dive right here on Power Radio. And of course, you know we're about to have a good time. We have the next hour together. Thank you so much for just sharing your time with us. And of course, my goodness, a lot of things are happening in this country, and it's been quite a couple of days. There's a member of parliament from Kasipul who was shot on Ngong Road, shot dead. And you know, this incident is actually very interesting, because now we've had some time to actually digest on this about, I think he's called Ongondo Were, who's the MP for Kasipul. And he was shot, and according to media reports, he actually had stated that, you know, his life was in danger. And so he ditched his MP car and decided to drive in his son's car. And the guy who went and shot him, he waited for a bit of traffic to build up. He knew where the guy was seated. He shot him, didn't shoot the driver or the bodyguard who was seated in the back seat. Mr. Were is dead. We're going to have a funeral sometime soon. And of course, you can imagine what the response has been from members of parliament. They have panicked, okay? Which is a normal reaction, I guess, because if a member of parliament can be gunned down in cold blood, then where is the country headed? But of course, people only ask such questions when they don't understand the history of this country. Do you remember Pio Gama Pinto? Do you remember Thomas Joseph Mboya? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a country of assassinations. Believe it or not. So, yesterday was Sunday, and the president was in Migori, in which county? Migori. He was in Kuria, which is in Migori County. All right. Now, while the president was talking about kushukisha garama ya mbolea, there is a girl who decided to throw a shoe at him, basically kumambia shuka. Of course, the internet erupted. There have been a lot of memes and a lot of reactions to that. And we're going to be talking about that today. Is Kenya's language of protest changing? And you know what? I have some shocking news for you. These are not new things, because if you are those people who like to be interested in the history of Kenya, you actually realize that all these things as they happen, we are only shocked by them because we lack proper historical perspective. So today I'm going to try and paint that historical perspective for you as we talk about this incident and what it means. We're talking about protest in Kenya. Has the language of protest in Kenya changed? And what's the way forward now? Because, my goodness, this is the first time Ruto has had something hurled at him. And of course, there have been a lot of opinions and reactions about the president. And of course, even when you look at the reaction of the government to the June 2024 anti-finance bill protests, where young people are killed. And of course, the BBC documentary just came out last week. And in the documentary, you actually see that the people who are shot by police officers and some people suspected to be military officers, some of them were leaving parliament and some of them were not even close to parliament. They were actually outside. What's happening in Kenya, man? It almost feels like we're in a thing, and we need to really understand what this thing is. Thank you for joining me right here. My name is WaNjeri, and this is Sheria Dive on Power Radio. And let me tell you something. We've got a fantastic 1 hour ahead of us. And because we're just those people, we just play it and we get it out of the way. Sindio, let's go. Hot the band.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Well, you see, love makes you do crazy things. Ask my shoes
uliza kiatu. And what I went through to buy you those rings. Ask my shoes, uliza kiatu. Masaibu ninayoyapitia kukupeleka dina, uliza kiatu. Na kaderi ninavyokatafuna, eti ndo ukule baka pizza, uliza kiatu. Ask my shoes, ask my shoes, uliza kiatu, uliza kiatu. Nimekopa nikupe, kumbe wewe ndo kupe. Nang'ang'ana ndo tule juhudi zangu bure. I heard that love should always make us strong, but how I feel, I think that they were wrong. Ask me why. Nasema taxi nilipe, rent mi nikupe, yole sisongwe Mombasa, sitwene mapenzi nikupe, mpaka we ulitike. Nasema taxi nilipe, rent mi nikupe, yole sisongwe Mombasa, sitwene mapenzi nikupe, mpaka we ulitike. Ask my shoes, ask my shoes, uliza kiatu, uliza kiatu. Ask my shoes, ask my shoes, uliza kiatu,
Kitendawili,
uliza kiatu.
kitendawili. Tega. Nilimuonyesha mapenzi akanionyesha mfuko. Alisema do ya salon ni thao tu, na kwa mfuko nilikuwa na mbao juu. Alisema naenda PE. Akirudi nilimpata akimeza P2. Alikutega. So niko stuck katikati kama stick ya mshikaki, na mpenda huyu mshikaji but kiatu tu ndo najua story.
Well, uliza kiatu ndo hiyo imekata. Kiatu imehang kwa hewa. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to play that song again towards the end. But ladies and gentlemen, do you remember what happened on the 5th of July 1969? Kenya was just 6 years old as an independent nation. And there was a gentleman called Thomas Joseph Odhiambo Mboya. And he was a trade unionist, educator, a Pan-Africanist, an author, an independence activist, and a statesman. And he's what we consider one of the founding fathers of the Republic of Kenya. And unfortunately, a man who never made it to be the president of Kenya. Now, Tom Mboya, on the 5th of July 1969, he was shot in broad daylight. And his death at that time, when Kenya was about 6 years old, it was really a harrowing tale. You know, the effect of Mboya's death and his assassination was felt all over the country. But of course, nowhere more than where he hailed from Nyanza province. At the time, we had provinces in Kenya. So in 1969, President Jomo Kenyatta, who was the founding president at the time, he decided that he wanted to go to Nyanza, specifically Kisumu, just to pay a visit there and to go open a hospital that had actually been built by the Soviets. And you'll always remember that Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, who's the father to current opposition broad-based government co-principal, Honorable Raila Odinga, he had his own party at the time, which was known as the Kenya People's Union, because he had disagreed with Jomo Kenyatta on how issues of governance would be dealt with and all this. And, Jaramogi said, why should I be earning a salary for a vice president while all these things are happening? And so Jaramogi decides to bolt out of KANU at the time. So that is the background. Mboya has been killed in July, and now it's October, a few months later in 1969. And Kenyatta makes his way into Kisumu, and he had gone there to open the Soviet-built hospital. And the media then described it as drunken youths that were clad in the opposition Kenya People's Union shirts and caps. And of course, because we know how news is reported sometimes in this country, I cannot talk about the state of their drunkenness. But it had just been a few months since Tom Mboya had died. And so that day, the 25th of October 1969, is a day that is known all over Nyanza province because those KPU members and the members of the public who began to shout, they were chanting Ndume, Ndume. And, for international audience, Ndume means a bull. And that was the opposition symbol for the Kenya People's Union. They threw stones. They pelted Jomo Kenyatta's dais with stones. And immediately the presidential security decided to open fire. And so many people were killed, including children, because of what had happened on that day. This was in Kisumu. And perhaps it could be what we'd consider to have been the first time when a sitting president actually found themselves on the receiving end of projectiles that had been, sent by citizens or by the members of the public. Now, this was not just the only incident because a few years later, Jomo Kenyatta's son, and oh my God, the more I talk about this, I'm like, kwani Kenya, kunaendaje? Anyway, Jomo Kenyatta's son, Uhuru Kenyatta, becomes president in 2013. And as soon as he becomes president, in 2014, he decides that he wants to go and for a development tour in Migori. Migori is also the same place where Ruto was yesterday, which was Sunday, the 4th of May. So Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, he was the president then, had a rally at Migori Primary School. And while at the rally, then people began to chant against him, and stones and shoes were thrown at the presidential dais where the president was standing. And actually, the good thing with this and the difference between this and maybe 1969 is that there are photos and videos of this, so you can actually look this up even on YouTube, because the presidential security quickly surrounds the president as he continues to make his speech. And of course, in 2014, that incident in Migori, it was criticized by some and it was happily received by others. And of course, leaders from Nyanza province at the time, they came out and roundly criticized it and said that this had been done by people who wanted to just try and bring chaos and all that. Anyway, fast forward 11 years later, on 4th of May 2025, William Ruto is standing inside his car. He's on the, they've just pulled back the roof, for the president to come through politician style. And of course, he's talking about bringing down the cost of fertilizer and the rest. And a shoe comes from nowhere. And according to media reports, you can actually see the president reaches out as a shoe hits him. And it's not clear what type of shoe it was, because some people say it was a Crocs, and a very dusty Crocs at that, because immediately it hits the president. The place is filled with, dust. But of course, once the president, of course, tries to compose himself to continue the speech, and the presidential security moves in, causing almost a stampede. Now, it was one shoe, right? But according to media reports, there are 3 people who've actually been arrested for it. And it's very interesting because one shoe, 3 people. My goodness, I think Cinderella would have had a hard time in Kenya. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some music.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Wonfala mgani kama mngari kwa list juu ya Ferrari, ana degree au ni journalist tu journalist. Nasikia wakiuliza ule boy wetu alienda wapi, amepotea kazi, ile mbegu watu walipanda na kanyari, Na nasikia inasemekana hati rap zangu kamna mkazo na ile utamnya rege mama. Maudinari wananikubali na hata hati hajawezekana. Kwa wale upenda sauti yangu na iko wale usengenyana. Mama kijana wako amepotea, ni masikio tu yeye anatoboa, huku ndugu zake wakiendelea. Mwenyezi pekee anaweza muokoa, kimaisha amelegea, ingawa hatuoni akitoboa, bado twazidi kumwombea. Amina. fiti. Sina njaa najua mpishi, sijaifanya kazi ya ofisi, sijailala kasi sijadishi, sijarap kitu katoka 6 hivi. Trust me, siezi rasmi, mi hata niache mziki miaka 50, nikirudi bado na crash nyinyi niko fast me. Ndani ya party na nguo rasmi, tumepigwa pasi hapo katikati, napiga mic check juu niko party na niko night shift, niko busy sikuwa najificha. Clearly you rappers missed your teacher, vitu mnaandika zinachoma picha, nkiwisingi hata kuwafundisha sauti nasikiani. Don't waste your time wishing you're too proud, my baby. Too proud to wish they had an easy way out. Let times get tough so they remember you're a blessing. When life is good they won't forget to say ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Naulizwa mbona niliacha mziki, ati nilikuwa mkali juu ya mic na namisiwa na mashabiki. Niliacha game mapema hata kabla refa hajapiga firimbi, bila kwa heri ati walistukia tu kuna klepto moja imbi. Samahani nimepotea, shukrani kwa wale wamenifikiria. Hizo miaka zote nimekuwa missing, lakini kwa kitu hamjaniambia. Kani ningebaki bado ungekuwa na taki ya kusikia nikiwaimbia, ama by saa ingekuwa mnanifanya vile mnafanya mapioneer. Story kwa media ati nimechapa, niko juu ya madawa na hangaika. Shoni uta mali mbada, ebu kama ukate raise mnaija. It's not that serious, rap ni hobby. Bila mziki bado na mange, ingekuwa career singekuwa nalia kusikia ati Nairobi. Ambia ni ukama sijifeel sana, we ni mgeni sikia kwanza tunakupenda. Ukikakata choka na wewe hivyo ndo kuenda. Mimi ule mgeni alikaa siku 2 tu, sikukaa siku mingi nikuachie nafasi ya kuchoka na mimi. So now you know. Shinsky. So now you know. Beat ya kega. So now you know.
I'm holding with a good grip. I rap to get close to everything.
Yes, I'm talking far, and of course, we're talking about that what you'd call a shoe attack, and what others would call a shoe protest against President Ruto. And more videos are coming out, and one of the videos actually shows the shoe is actually being held up by someone, and they just have it in their hands, and then someone from behind them actually looks like they hit the shoe, which then goes and falls, rather hits the president. And of course, immediately you see security getting in. And of course, government operatives have said that this was a joke that went too far, something like that. But as we've said, Kenya has a history of this. Now, what does this mean for Kenya in terms of protest? Is this an acceptable form of protest? Now, we always say that everything has its own context, isn't it? So, what have been some of those instances? Because you will remember that in 2008, a journalist confronted the then US President George W. Bush in Iraq. And while George Bush was in Iraq, Mr. Muntadhar al-Zaidi hurled his shoes at him. And, in the Arab culture, throwing a shoe at someone is a sign of extreme disdain, extreme contempt. It's one of the worst things you can do to someone in Arab culture. So what happened to Mr. Muntadhar al-Zaidi? He was arrested and he was jailed for 3 years for that offense. But he didn't actually finish the entire sentence. He only served a sentence of 9 months and he was released since he didn't have a prior criminal record. And he's actually on Twitter. He's on X. So if you're ever interested, you want to ask the guy, what were you thinking when you threw that shoe? You can always do that. I want us to talk about this history of shoe throwing. And perhaps the question is, as we look at the world, as we look at how things have happened, is this an acceptable form of protest? This is something that has actually split a lot of opinions. Because let's face it, on the one hand, it suggests that presidential security actually needs to be serious with their job, because that was a shoe. But clearly, if a shoe could hit the president, then what says that if someone actually had an ulterior motive to harm the president, it couldn't have been done? So there's a serious lapse in security, and I hope this is something they address. But also, it's a challenge, I guess, because our president does not like to speak from the dais. You remember even when he went to Northeastern, he went into a vehicle, into the crowd. So we have a president who likes to be on top of vehicles, so which means then that he's placed himself in a vantage position for such things. So perhaps is it an opportunity to reconsider how presidential addresses are being made? And is that, standing on top of a vehicle, is that actually a good way of, addressing people in terms of security for the president? I'm sure we're going to be seeing some changes coming up as time progresses. But I want us to look also at the history of shoe throwing incidences in the world. And we're going to start all the way from Roman times, because in 359, Constantius II, the Roman emperor, was giving a speech to a group of limigantes to ask for their loyalty, and he was hit by a shoe thrown by one of them, and the thrower shouted, "Marha, Marha," in a signal of war. That is the first, recorded incident of a shoe being thrown, or at least a shoe being thrown at someone famous and a position of authority. We all know shoes were thrown at us by our mothers. And there was someone who actually argued that must be a mother who threw that shoe because it did not miss. Your mother could just take that shoe and you're running and that shoe will find you, even as you try to zigzag, So the next time we actually come to see shoes being thrown is in 2008. And from 2008 to date, can you believe it? There have been so many incidences of shoes being thrown at people. And of course, we cannot look at all of them. We're going to be choosing some of them. But I'm just curious. I'd like to find out from you, what is your opinion on this matter of shoes being thrown at the president? Do you think it's a justifiable form of protest? Do you think this is a form of protest that we should allow, or is it a form of protest that should be disallowed and a protest that we as a country should say, no, this is not acceptable? Let me know your thoughts. Of course, I'm looking at our live chat on YouTube. And of course, you can also reach out to us through social media. Our handles are at Power Radio, at WaNjeri. Of course, you're going to be looking out to see your comments on this topic. Is this an acceptable form of protest for shoes to be thrown? And you have to remember as well that in this country, violence and politics have always been bedmates, you know. Whenever there's politics, there's bound to be violence. Is this acceptable? Is this something that we should actually accept in this day and age? Hey, I'm looking out for your thoughts. Please let us know. We're going to be reading those out. But when we come back, we'll look at some of the incidences where shoes have played a very prominent role. And then we continue to ask that question, was this the right thing to do? Let me know your thoughts.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
South C, South B, 111, 23, West D, can't get me, nah, don't need, nah, money, baby. Ain't no city like my city, oh, no, no, no. Nairobi, they can do it like we do it in the 254. Nairobi, my hustler, now my damn supu, kawangware, buru buru. I love my city, oh yes I do. Na 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 Nairobi.
25 flow, we on a wave, got mix za dem akufu vile na bounce kwa hit track. Ukipenda hala chuchu, jiwe, mayoyo, hey, we got the nunu, I'm in love with my city. Boss, I'm going kuku, hey. Hini ya madem wale ukulenga mtaani, mkikutana Nairobi wana wave kwa mbali. Luku ni ya wathi, utadhani Tamford. Saya kinenge, shika mavanga Sanford. Hey, niko idha mapararira kanganya. Big up my hustlers, wanao tamak. My foreigners, wale, makwa wamehama. Machoko shwale jiji, kwa pia ni mama. I'm keeping it real, keeping it local. I'm so raw, original flow though. And Nairobi, ay. It's magic when I'm on the mic, mzeya, ay. Woo.
Ain't no city like my city, oh no, no, no. Nairobi, they can do it like we do it in the 254. Nairobi,
Gigi,
my hustler, now my damn supu,
Hey.
kawangware, buru buru. I love my city, oh yes I do.
na Nairobi.
My
Hey.
body, kileleshwa, embakase, langata, dagorete, kibera, nakayole, dandora, Nairobi, tuko rada, kauna bifa hopni ya bama hitu ninatuleta pamoja, chama, tupate mitatu na zama, ama, eo ni kama, tumewateko Kampala na Jadama, enai, tunaweza Robi, tunatesa, ata mayu wako yama. Ain't no city like my city, oh no, no, no. Nairobi, they can do it like we do it in the 254. Nairobi,
Gigi,
my hustler, now my damn supu,
Hey.
kawangware, buru buru. I love my city, oh yes I do. Na Nairobi,
Gigi,
my hustler, now my damn supu,
Hey.
kawangware, buru buru. I love my city, oh yes I do.
na Nairobi. Hey. Nairobi, tumelokit kibobo. Kadunga mosquito, sio shocky things bobo. Hey, lokit kibobo. Woo. No shocky things bobo.
Yeah, that's Nairobi, of course. And let me tell you, we're talking about shoe throwing incidences. Wikipedia has already updated William Ruto. He's the only entry for 2025. Sunday, May 5th, while addressing residents at Migori, Kenya, a man in the crowd threw a shoe at Dr. W.S. Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. He cut his speech short for a moment before proceeding. The shoe is currently held by the police, and a petition is being filed to have it displayed as one of the democracy struggle artifacts in the Kenyan National Museum. That's what the Wikipedia entry says. But let's try and go back a bit, because in 2024, on 16th December, UN envoy Geir Pedersen visited Sednaya prison in Damascus. And this is, of course, in Syria. And a Syrian woman attempted to throw a shoe at him. The woman, it was said, was looking for her missing relatives, and she criticized the United Nations for neglecting to intervene beforehand. So we can see here in Syria, the shoe has been thrown or is being thrown as a form of a protest. But is this always the same thing? Because in 2023 on 19th July, Jimmy Butler, who's an NBA player, claimed to have been hit by a shoe in the Chinese city of Taiyuan during a tour of the country. And in a subsequently released video, Butler was seen greeting a group of fans when he was hit in the face by a pink shoe. And no explanation has actually ever been given for this and why it happened. Now, let's go to Russia, because on 4th of August 2022, at a meeting with the mayor of Uglegorsk in Russia's Sakhalin Island, and the regional governor, a woman who had been seeking relocation from a severely damaged half-abandoned house for years, showed them a shoe that got moldy in her apartment and threw it at the mayor. This is a shoe that got moldy in my house, then proceeded to throw it at the mayor. Hey, seems like this happens more often than we know. You know, as also we look at history and we try just to see what lessons we can learn from history, you probably remember this one, because at the United Nations in the 1960s, Nikita Khrushchev, who was the Russian leader at the time, brandished a shoe at the United Nations in the 1960s, and I'll get the exact date for that. So it seems like this thing has actually been done in multiple places. In 2018, on 11th March, a shoe was hurled at Nawaz Sharif, former Prime Minister of Pakistan, when he was about to address a religious gathering at Jamia Naimia, Lahore. In 28th June, a sleeper was hurled at Taipei Mayor WaNjeri during an event at Taipei Main Station, and the sleeper was found with a note reading, "Throw a stinky shoe at Stinky Co." That one, alikuwa amesema, in case you start asking, was it accidental? Hiyo ni shida yenyu. This was being done on purpose. Of course, even pop stars have been on the receiving end of these. On 10th June at the Summer Bus Festival 2017 in Stockholm, Justin Bieber had a shoe thrown at him because he could not remember the lyrics to Spanish single Despacito. My fans. Hey. Now, in 2016, on 1st March, a man hit the Pakistani Federal Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Pervez Rashid, with a shoe, protesting the execution of Mumtaz Hussain Qadri. And of course, in 2017, in India, the Chief Minister of Punjab, Prakash Singh Badal, was addressing the people present in Rata Kera village of his constituency, Lambi. Meanwhile, a relative of a Sikh preacher, Amrik Singh Ajnala, hurled a shoe at him to protest the previous year's banning of Sikh holy books and yelled at the speaker. And of course, a similar incident had happened in 2014 as well. I have to say that when I look at some of these examples, Africa, we seem to be the only shoe throwers in this continent, because I'm yet to come across another example of, shoe throwing. Hey, Kenyans are leading, man, in everything. If you know of a shoe throwing incident that happened in Africa, why don't you let us know in the comment section as we look at that. But the question I'm asking us, is this a valid form of protest, especially even for our context? Is this a valid form of protest? And is this a protest that should actually, be allowed? Let me know your thoughts, because, like it or not, there's going to be legal repercussions for those who took part in this incident. And I'm sure that the police already have 3 suspects who threw one shoe. And by the time they narrow down whose shoe it was, maybe by then they'll be able to decide who they're taking to court or who they are not taking to court. So, hey, we can only wait to see. But for now, let me know Is this acceptable to you, or do you think that this is not an acceptable form of protest and it has crossed the line? Let's go.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Like you care, like you care, like you care. I say like you care, like you care, like you care. Rangi ya mdomo kwenye shirt, nina uhakika ile marashi siyo yake. Bado yuaja kwangu kitandani, akitaka tubanane. Risiti kila kitu mbili, amejaa maalama kwenye mwili. Bado yuaja kwangu kitandani, akitaka tubanane. Anamlale, anamlala, na siyo siri, siyo habari. Anamlale, anamlala, wala fichi, siyo habari. Niliambiwa kupenzae atakuchiti hadharani. Niliambiwa kupenzae atakustiri hadharani. Jaribu kundanganya kama wanijale, kama wanijale. Jaribu kundanganya kama wanijale, kama wanijale. Jale, 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 jale. Jale, 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 jale. Like you care, like you care, like you care. I say like you care, like you care, like you care.
Hata saa ile sidanganyi, unasema mimi nadanganya. Utasikizaje masikio yako shazibana, macho yako yanaona vitu na kuna kitu nafanya. Hapo ndo tumefika na kuongelesha, nikiona unaona niko guilty, haimata kitu nitasema. Ndani ya roho inaumizwa, nasikia wivu nikiona wale wanapendana bila kushukushuku sana. Ile inafaa, vile unataka kufanya fanya leo leo, kana panda cheo cheo nipande, kana shuka basi nianze kutafuta stage ya mind. Yeah, jifanye kama una care pia, utaniamini uone vile na kuchange ya mind.
Jaribu kundanganya kama wanijale, kama wanijale. Jaribu kundanganya kama wanijale, kama wanijale. Jale, 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 jale. Jale, 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 jale. Like you care, like you care, like you care. I say like you care, like you care, like you care.
Never let you down, never will.
Sana ipenda shin to the chilla, to the chilla.
Anamlale, anamlala, na siyo siri, siyo habari. Anamlale, anamlala, wala fichi, siyo habari. Jaribu kundanganya kama wanijale, kama wanijale. Jaribu kundanganya kama wanijale, kama wanijale. Jale, 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 jale. Jale, 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 jale.
See, I see. As you come, tell you now. Baba Taifa. Embakasi 33. Tumezoea kupigwa ngeta na mkono wa sheria. Tumia Bible kama makeup ya kujifunikia. Usipohonga unanyonga, ukibonga unabondo, ikisonga unafungwa, unanyimwa bona. Majudge conman usipo kwa stronger wataku nyonga. Judge shit no longer than a few was too many kidnaps. Lakini yetu koti milimani, when the victim utashtakiwa milimani. Akilimani kuku filisisha watakunyongea kilimani. I can't breathe wameninyongea kitanda. I can't sleep and so I can't dream. Na eviction notice ina come next week. Unashinda na pressure plus walikusensa. Neba ni spy na bunduki silencer. My mind na dota when I'm tupienga magesture. Swezi food bills kiatu yangu imeisha texture. Swezi food bills kiatu yangu imeisha texture. Swezi food bills yetu imeisha. Matexture. Article 43. Article 35. Article 37. Article 43. Article 43. Article 35. Article 37. Article 43. Informed voter ako rada ya katiba, right to assembly, kuchoranga petition na kudemo, but anadematiagas kutoka kwa uniform na uninformed officer. Kuna tips za overtime juu ana follow to orders, akibreak law na kukos disorder, na kimbizana na protesta na bandera placard na yeye na rungu bunduki na tiaga saki distract na kudispass raia. Amechoka na injustice kwa corridors za justice juu hapati right yake, but mangumi mkono kwa pingu wakistruggle kustrango shingo yake, mshipa imevimba. He feeling sigeni juu wamezoea wanamnyonga, wanatunyonga. Article 43 wanatunyonga. Article 35 wanatunyonga. Article 37 wanatunyonga. Article 43 wanatunyonga. Article 43 wanatunyonga. Article 35 wanatunyonga. Article 37 wanatunyonga. Article 43. So kulingana na Article 37, kila Mkenya kuna right ya kuassemble, kudemonstrate, kupicket na kupetition. Lakini tunajua ase bana, ase watakunyonga hata ukijaribu bana. Yani constitution imetukava, lakini hao ndio cover ka elective mathematics.
Yeah, that's the sad reality of Kenya. Ukiongea unanyongwa, ukinyamaza unanyongwa. Bottom line, unanyongwa. And you know, one of the very sad stories that has come through today has been that Samuel G2 in Eldoret witnessed the murder of 25-year-old Abdi Ali. This was happening in Eldoret. Okay? Abdi was handcuffed, killed, and then thrown into the river. Okay? Now, the witness, Samuel G2, who saw Abdi being killed and thrown into the river, has also been killed and was found dumped in the same river. And according to media reports, Abdi had been killed by police officers, and the suspicion is that the police officers have also gone after the witness, who was Mr. Samuel G2, who was only 21 years old, and he has actually been murdered. He witnessed the murder of Abdi, and then he was abducted, stabbed, and dumped in the same river that Abdi was actually thrown in. Of course, we're going to be following up on this story because, my goodness, I don't know what's happening in this country. Because, surprise, surprise, today, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions has decided. I need to give you a background first on this. Now, today, 11 police officers were set to appear before Milimani High Court, and they were expected to take plea over 40 murder charges in connection with the 2017 Kisumu chaos that led to the killing of Baby Pendo and 39 others. Okay? So, we were in court today to see whether Baby Pendo's killers will actually be brought to book. But there was a bombshell, because the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution has dropped murder charges against 6 senior police officers in connection with the killing of Baby Pendo and 39 protesters in Kisumu. And do you know why they did it? They said there was lack of evidence. And perhaps the question is, how is it that at the inquest there was enough evidence for the court to say you can actually prosecute these people, but now the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions has decided we do not have evidence against these 6 senior officers? That's the story of Kenya for you. And even as we think about the future of this country and where things are going, I think you can actually see why people do the things that they do. Citizens are slowly getting to a point where they realize they are on their own. The police are not protecting you, they're killing you, right? The politicians don't care because they say people die every day, so we move on. And so the question at the end of the day is, who is actually looking out for for Kenyans? Who is actually looking out for Kenyans out here? Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. But we'll be back here on Thursday for another show, another episode of Sheria Dive. And remember, when we talk about the shoe throwing incident, I suspect that once the police narrow down the suspect, they're going to be charged with assault, which would look like the easiest of the charges that could be put on them. But you know what? I can never put it past our police and this current DPP to actually charge them with attempted murder for throwing a shoe at the president. You know what? We can just wait and see. In the meantime, please be safe. Watch out for yourself, and see you back here on Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. God bless you and have a lovely rest of the week. Let's go.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Ukishamaliza serereka, kumbuka piga sala, nje unameremeta, ndani unaomboleza. Hizi vitu zifanyika, ni hali ya maisha. Baraka yako ikifika, imefika. Jadoli ya malo jawari ya watorumo ekinde manene kane wadonge dala chon gilala kane wapone dala jadu ya kona no bonyo nyadundo do wiji gima wacho do dana kwere no bonyo nyadundo to wiji gima landoni kineno kapinyo ketore ne kiri wutalanda do samine no kachengo donje na to kiri baya Taro na kwedi ni pinyoni ndataro gwengo betalenga ni gwengo betalenga to gwengo bedalenga na kwedi gwengo bedalenga jadulu tinga malo ozana kiwinja tinga malo Jehova kiwinja tinga malo ozana kiwinja tinga malo Jehova kiwinja tinga malo Sana kiwinja tinga malo Jehova kiwinja tinga malo Sana kiwinja tinga malo Jehova kiwinja tinga malo Sana kiwinja tinga malo Yuaya tajiri Yuaya koroka to sano tingi malo kikiwea chien Mayo ne parolo via murmurdege Natumo lo dinga wo debe Bololo iri Chop Make Yeipa Antumbiro nega bonyo sanga tete osigina magina
Get tight, kuji-entertain au kuficha campaign, sema walai na unadanganya life na joita cocaine, peace of mind ndo kitu hawana, try kutuliza brain na feature white na lipwa na fame najua wanasikia kujimir utaona disguise ikianza kufade na time utaona to change watatry kusema wali kumake swangeji make patience ya mind waga ina fail unaharibu vibes unatupwa nje unasikia na light na puliza j najua wanasikia kujimurder days are mine of late zote ni holiday mula ni long nataka na confidence nakimbiza dopamine najua kuna consequence but mula ni long days are mine of late zote ni holiday mula ni long nataka na confidence nakimbiza dopamine najua kuna consequence but mula ni long naona ma smile naona ma face zingine familia zingine na guess blessed vile uwezi amini nimeshinda siku mzima na finya refresh fresh na rap kama mimi hakuna mtu mwingine na try kuimpress yes nacheka na nyinyi nikicheza ngachini juu nacheza chess kwa life ya mine when ni guest ukitoka jua kuna next ukisikia tamaa hiyo ni flash ukishiwa jua we ni ex niko on my grind ka crusher na planadi time ya kurest fast bag east side ka Asha sikia buzz hiyo ni Nairobi West you just wanna feel something just wanna feel maybe ni mimi ni fema maneni watiaji ni wengi maflow ni baridi mashoni wazimu madola ni mingi nikidai na zabini ni bini ukishaka tasimu shashi kaingine mwaka imejaa kwa fly ni mimi shona kakitu na ujaona hata kitu maybe ni mimi ni fema maneni watiaji ni wengi maflow ni baridi mashoni wazimu madola ni mingi kwa flyer ni mimi days are mine of late zote ni holiday mula ni long nataka na confidence nakimbiza dopamine najua kuna consequence but mula ni long days are mine of late zote ni holiday mula ni long nataka na confidence nakimbiza dopamine najua kuna consequence but mula ni long
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.